and potentially then go back and see what type of interventions we could have done to decrease the heat stress.
At the states that border Mexico, the record-breaking conditions posing a threat to an already risky journey for migrants. Our partners at Telemundo were in Eagle Pass, Texas, as a 1.5-year-old girl in need of water was at the verge of passing out after her family attempted to cross into the U.S. in blistering heat. Border Patrol agents were there to give the family water.
Pero ahorita que veníamos en el camino me venía convulsionando hasta por la temperatura de la calor.
While apprehensions along the border have dropped, in Arizona, agents in the Tucson sector have yet to see numbers decline despite the unforgiving and deadly desert heat. Agents there responding to over 150 calls for help in the first 20 days of July, rescuing more than 1,000 migrants. Tonight, record-breaking heat compounding the dangers for those most at risk.
Miguel Almaguer joins us tonight from Los Angeles. And Miguel, going back to Phoenix and some of the reporting out of there, the heat there has been so relentless and so dangerous. One county's morgue is now preparing for a possible surge in heat-related deaths.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Maricopa County officials tell NBC News this is just a precaution for now and that those containers that store bodies are not being used quite yet. Now, this isn't the first time that Maricopa County Morgue has brought in 10 of these 8 by 20-foot refrigerated containers. When COVID was surging through Phoenix last summer, the same coolers were used to store bodies of pandemic victims, but their return is an ominous sign of just how deadly these triple-digit temperatures can be. Tom?
It really is. Okay, Miguel Almaguer leading us off here, and in large parts of the country, those temperatures are staying dangerously high as we head into the weekend. So let's get right over to Michelle Grossman. She joins us live in studio tonight. So Michelle, when can we see relief from this extreme heat that we've been dealing with for months now?
I know, it's been so long. Hi there, Tom. Well, some will see some relief as early as tomorrow, even Sunday, but that's a small percentage who will see the relief. We're still looking at half, really, the country looking at 146 million impacted by heat alerts. Excessive heat warnings in the Southwest, that's in the hot pink color. We have heat alerts throughout the plains, into the Ohio Valley, the Southeast, into the Northeast as well. So we're looking at sweltering temperatures. We mentioned that heat is deadly. Well, it happens to be the #1 cause of weather-related deaths. So this remains a very, very big story. We're looking at temperatures into the 90s as we go through lots of triple digits.
Why are you doing that?
But look at this.
You had full health. You got picked out of a locker.
This will sweep out the heat and humidity. First, we're going to see it tomorrow in portions of the Midwest, into the Great Lakes, and the portions of New England as well. So Minneapolis, 83 degrees far. That's going to feel good with low humidity. Chicago, actually below normal tomorrow. Then this will eventually sweep through the Northeast. Now, the bad news is we're going to see some gusty storms, but by Sunday, we're going to see so much more relief. So by Sunday, Boston, 75 degrees at 6
Oh my
degrees.
God, I want to quit.
80 degrees at Pittsburgh. There's the relief. We're going to see relief going into next week. But, Tom, still in the South, we're seeing really high temperatures. Back to you.
Okay, we'll stay on top of that. We appreciate having you here tonight. Former President Trump lashing out over the new charges against him in the classified documents case as we learn more about the new third defendant, Carlos de Oliveira, allegedly telling a fellow employee, quote, the boss, that he wanted the server deleted in regards to surveillance footage from inside Mar-a-Lago. NBC's Garrett Haake has the very latest.
Former President Trump on the attack tonight against prosecutors and those 3 new federal charges against him.
They're trying to intimidate people so that people go out and make up lies about me, because I did nothing wrong.
In the new charges, the special counsel alleging Mr. Trump sought a cover-up to conceal classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago home by deleting surveillance video. Now charging a new defendant, Mar-a-Lago property manager Carlos de Oliveira, with 2 obstruction counts and with making false statements to the FBI. In the indictment, prosecutors say on June 23rd last year, the day after the government subpoenaed surveillance video from his home, the former president spoke by phone with de Oliveira for 24 minutes. The next day, Mr. Trump's personal aide, Walter,
I'm dead.
was also been charged, allegedly changed his travel to go to Florida. On June 25th, prosecutors say, Nada and de Oliveira looked at surveillance video in a Mar-a-Lago security booth and walked through a tunnel with flashlights pointing out cameras. 2 days later, de Oliveira spoke with an IT staffer identified as employee who told him the server retained camera footage for 45 days. De Oliveira allegedly saying the boss wanted the server deleted. The employee responded he would not know how to do that and that he did not believe he would have the rights to do that. De Oliveira allegedly insisting that that's what the boss wanted, asking, what are we going to do? The indictment does not say if any footage was deleted.
And I don't think they think that the history would change. She's unlikely to go to them.
New charges putting the Republican frontrunner in more serious legal jeopardy. But so far, each new indictment has been a political boost.
I'm the only person ever got indicted.
I want to leave. I fucking hate this team. I hate this killer.
Because people understand it. They read it. They see it.
The new indictment also charges Mr. Trump with possessing a top-secret military document he has denied existed, but is heard on an audio recording discussing with aides and journalists.
It is highly this is secret information.
Mr. Trump's GOP allies leaping to his defense, noting the new charges come one day after the DOJ's controversial plea deal for President Biden's son Hunter collapsed under a judge's scrutiny.
People are tired of these weaponized federal agencies, and that if your last name is Biden, you get to live by a different set of rules, versus if your last name is Trump, you get targeted by these agencies.
Garrett Hick joins us now. And Garrett, I know you have some new reporting about the former president's PAC, Save America, and how it's paying a lot of the legal fees for some of these co-defendants.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. And look, the former president has always said he's all about loyalty, and one of the ways that this apparently is being shown and the way it's politically,
dude.
he's using one of his PACs along with donations that come from regular supporters to help pay not just his legal fees, but the legal fees of other people involved in these investigations. We have learned, for example, that the Save America PAC has paid nearly $200,000 to the firm that was, at least until recently, representing Mr. De Oliveira, the new person indicted in the story we just saw. So he is using essentially donor dollars to help pay the folks who could otherwise be providing damaging testimony against him. It's not unprecedented, but it is a very interesting wrinkle in this story as we move forward.
And then, Garrett, the former president is also saying a potential conviction would not end his campaign.
Yeah, he was asked that specifically today, Tom, and his answer shouldn't be much of a surprise. He says no, a conviction or even being jailed wouldn't end his campaign. Now, look, it's likely with this new information, he might not even go to trial before the 2024 campaign is all the way sewn up. But Donald Trump has made the idea that he's being criminally...
Why would you leave a Gen 99 when I point to the killer?
He thinks it's useful for voters to say he's going to fight all the way through this. And so the fact that he says today that even if he's convicted, he'll stay in it, I think it's just further fuel for that fire with his most dedicated supporters.
All right, Garrett Haig for us tonight. Garrett, we appreciate all that. Now to the race for the White House. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis facing more backlash for new Black history standards in the state that include teaching slaves benefited from some skills they learned while enslaved. One of his Republican rivals.
That's it, man. I can't help anymore.
The newly approved teachings. Our David Gutierrez, president of Florida Governor, on the new standards.
You guys aren't doing gens enough, and I can't chase. I can't run. Not good at it.
Is GOP rival Tim Scott the only Black Republican senator?
She's fucking looking for me.
For adopting new public school standards that teach how
Gonna tunnel
slaves
me.
develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. It's a line of attack first launched by Vice President Harris.
They want to replace history with lies.
Another Black Republican member of Congress, Florida's Byron Donalds, who endorsed former President Trump, has also criticized that portion of the new standards. But DeSantis argues that line has been...
Both of them are not doing anything. Where are they at? I can see in the locker.
Putting out information that's totally false. You got to be willing to stand up and fight back against false narratives, and that's what we do in Florida every day.
One of the scholars who helped develop the Florida standards is also defending them.
This curriculum is devoted to telling the truth.
Find in the chest box.
After laying off more than a third of its staff, the DeSantis campaign is trying to reset, holding more up-close events with voters and their families.
Oh, what is that? An icing? Yeah, that's probably a lot of sugar, huh?
While Mr. Trump is still dominating the field.
If we make it about the vision for the future, we're going to win. Obviously, with me as the nominee, we're going to focus on Biden's failures and our vision.
I need
for the
to
future.
heal
That's
the-
what the election will be about. If Donald Trump is the nominee, it's going to be about all those other issues.
With all due respect, Governor, you're down by 30 points, though.
Well, no, I mean, that says you. I mean, I can tell you, we've been in Iowa. I'm the one showing up at all these places. We're signing up people day after day.
All right, fresh off his big interview, Gabe Gutierrez joins us now from Des Moines, Iowa. Gabe, I was just listening there to your exchange, and we understand DeSantis' stance on the criticism he's getting over the new standards in the Florida education over slavery. What I want to understand is what is everyone getting wrong? What did Kamala Harris get wrong? What did the Republican representatives get wrong? What is the media getting wrong?
Yeah, Tom, and look, Governor DeSantis is making this point. He's caught saying that the media and his opponents are lying because, as he sees it, these standards are more than 200 pages long, and that the media, again, as he sees it, and his opponents are focusing on this one sentence. And he says overall, this is not an issue of saying that slavery was beneficial in any way, but he says that his opponents are latching onto this narrative, in his word, he sees that as a lie. It's more and more black Republican lawmakers are coming out against it, and he sees it, frankly, as dishonest. So I should point out, Tom, we're here at the Lincoln dinner here in Iowa, 13 presidential hopefuls here, and this will be the first time that Governor DeSantis and former President Trump are at the same event here in Iowa so far. Again, Governor DeSantis and his team betting big on this state, Tom.
And Gabe, before you go there, DeSantis is also getting some criticism.
Yeah, what are you doing?
He made about RFK Jr., but I want to play these comments so our viewers can hear exactly what he said.
I'm aligned with him on Fauci and the corruption and the health bureaucracies 100%. And I think he's probably said some other things that I agree with too. But
Could have both ran up here and did this. Maybe we would win.
So on that regard, it's like, okay, if you're president,
But Ada has to search chests.
Or sick him on CDC. But in terms of being beat, if there's 70% of the issues that he may be averse to our base on, that just creates an issue.
So I gotta be honest here. When we listen to that soundbite, he does sort of float that idea. Like I know that they're saying that he never said that.
And Chase, where is she? I can't.
He would head up the CDC or the FDA, but it sounds like he's suggesting that. What is the DeSantis campaign saying?
Well, there's actually some news on that today. He did do an interview with Megyn Kelly where he kind of walked that back a little bit.
Nancy's running in the same direction as me.
RFK Jr., he went to sick him on the FDA and the CDC. He now says he didn't even wanted him to head up the FDA or the CDC, but perhaps he wanted him to head up a bipartisan outside panel to look into those agencies. So there's that distinction. But you're right, Tom, it is so interesting because he's trying to latch onto this COVID vaccine issue, perhaps as a wedge issue of embracing technically a Democrat, but perhaps he's using it as a wedge issue to distinguish himself from former President Trump. Some of his critics, though, are seeing it's just bizarre, but again, he walked those comments back just a little bit today, Tom.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez on the campaign trail. Big interview tonight. Gabe, we appreciate all of that. We also have a major update tonight in the case of the so-called Newburgh Four. You may remember this case from years ago. 3 of the 4 men convicted of plotting acts of terrorism in New York more than a decade ago now set to be released. Why? Well, the federal judge calling their convictions an FBI-orchestrated conspiracy. Ellison Barber has the details.
A victory in court for 3 men convicted in a terrorism sting more than a decade ago.
Police arrested the men last night as they were allegedly planting what they thought were real bombs outside a Jewish temple.
A federal judge ordering the release of Anto Williams, David Williams, and LaGuerre Payne, 3 of the men known as the Newburgh Four, arrested for a plot to blow up synagogues in New York City and shoot down National Guard planes in upstate New York.
The suspects allegedly conducted surveillance and took photos of possible targets.
In a scathing decision, U.S. District Judge Colleen McMahon accusing FBI agents of trying to arrest petty criminals by radicalizing the men to participate in a plot she called an FBI-orchestrated conspiracy. McMahon adding, quote, the real lead conspirator was the
always
United
like
States.
taking the killer in the direction of me.
But it's just a pure description of the facts.
Wants her to
of
kill
this
me or
case.
something.
The judge also accusing the FBI of using a, quote, villain of an informant to prey on the poor, then manipulate the men to commit a fake crime in exchange for cash, materials, and even groceries.
The defense is starting to raise questions about the informant and whether these men were duped.
Every step of the way was all the FBI. These guys they had no driver's licenses. They couldn't find Google Maps of where these targets are that the FBI informant told them to use. I mean, they came up with not one single part of the spot. It was all the FBI.
That FBI informant, Shahid Hussein, who made headlines again when a stretch limo operated by his company crashed in rural New York, killing 20 people.
Manslaughter in the second degree.
Hussein now serving a 5 to 15-year prison sentence for that crash. We have not heard back from his lawyers.
The FBI says this man, James Crumedy, was the alleged ringleader.
In the Newburgh case, the federal judge who granted the release also accusing Hussein of recruiting James Cromedy, who was believed to be the ringleader of the terror plot.
We think that both Mr. Cromedy and the others, number one, never should have been arrested, never should have been convicted by a jury. And we had certainly hoped that on appeal, many, many years ago, their convictions would have been reversed.
He was not included in this compassionate release request, but the attorney who represents him says he's confident Cromedy would be entitled to the same relief.
Late justice is better than no justice.
As for the Williamsons and Payne, their 25-year sentence is pulled back to 90 days, giving lawyers and officials time to prepare for their release, according to the judge. Their attorney hoping for more compassionate releases in the future.
I think that the FBI is still doing and has been doing a lot of these unfair sting cases where they prey on mentally ill young men who really are not interested in terrorism.
We've reached out to the FBI and Department of Justice, but have not heard back. Ellison Barber, NBC News.
All right, we also have some breaking news tonight out of the Americas and that ongoing violence in Haiti. The U.S. Department of State now urging U.S. citizens and non-emergency personnel to leave the country as gangs take over the capital city. U.S. officials say Americans are becoming a target. Juan Venegas has more.
A humanitarian crisis worsening in Haiti, violent gangs overpowering police and now pushing out Americans. The U.S. State Department now ordering all U.S. government employees, non-emergency personnel, and their families to leave the country, citing the kidnapping, crime, civil unrest, and poor health infrastructure. The order following a travel advisory from the U.S. Embassy in Haiti on Thursday, advising all U.S. nationals to leave the country immediately due to
these matches suck so bad. This is so boring, trying to swarm one gen. I feel like a fly swarming shit.
And have already forced more than 165,000 Haitians to flee their homes.
Getting injured.
To live in Port-au-Prince now, right now. You're afraid of being kidnapped.
Oh, you're exposed.
That you don't have. We cannot continue to live in a country that don't respect us.
This week, those who couldn't flee desperately seeking safe refuge outside the U.S. Embassy. The gangs just shoot and take control of the area. They took our house and now we're on the street, said this woman camping outside. Yet the group was later removed by police. The Caribbean country has been in freefall since the assassination of President Jovenel Moise 2 years ago, which left a state without an effective government.
I've seen the situation for myself. Conditions are desperate, but solutions are possible if we act now.
Amid the crisis, the UN also attempting to distribute humanitarian support.
18 minutes this match has gone on. She's fucking baiting the killer over here, where we're healing. These people suck.
Matters worse. Data indicates violent crimes, including
the fuck are you baiting the killer to the team?
Doubled in 2023 compared to last year.
Look at them.
Critical time for a country rapidly deteriorating.
What are they doing? There's locker spamming.
And tonight, Guad joins us from our Telemundo Center in Miami. Guad, U.S. authorities say they cannot provide assistance for any
Dude, this
Americans who
sucks, man. I feel like sending this video in to them. Look at what they're doing.
That's correct. That means that Americans who stay would have to depend on the national police and local.
What the fuck are you doing?
Hospitals, keeping in mind there are shortages of gasoline, electricity, and
like this killer, I don't want to play against because of this shit. This is so stupid.
Treat patients the way they need to. They would also have
It is just going exposed. These two are spamming lockers. No wonder we can't, like, play the game. The killer's just walking back and forth in between gens.
That just one of 900, very right, 900 carjackings reported this month alone. The calls for action.
Dude, I'm sending this video into fucking behavior. This is retarded behavior. I don't feel like playing, dude. I want to go to the next game, and it's been 20 minutes already. A game should take like 10-15 minutes. This is gonna be another 10 minutes of us trying to do a gen. Fucking god, dude. This is the Nancy that ran towards the team with the killer, and the Nancy that ran towards me with the killer when I was exposed. Fucking repair. Stop doing it. You're not helping. Fucking help the team. You're trolling, dude. This is troll gameplay. You're getting reported, Nancy. You're not doing gens. It's not fucking helping. Stop. Even do the gen. I hope you die, Nancy.
What is going to happen now? Going back and forth. Oh yeah, this is it.
I don't leave.
News for the generation of now is NBC News Network.
All right, we're back now with another story of an amusement park ride.
This is what you're supposed to do.
It's also going reverse. It's just the latest in a series of theme park mishaps across the country. Emily Akana tonight with the moments that fun turned to fear.
At first glance, this looks like a thrill seeker's paradise. But panic started to set in when the Music Express in Rye, New York wouldn't stop earlier this week.
Hey, they gotta pull the plug!
Parkgoers pleading to pull the plug as the wheel of car spun for an extra 3 to 4 minutes. The maintenance team ultimately shutting down power, according to a Playland spokesperson, who blamed an electrical issue and reported no injuries.
Everybody was afraid. Everybody, was shocked. Nobody knew what to do.
It's the latest incident in a series of wrong turns at amusement parks and carnivals across the country, leaving some on edge about the summertime staple. Carowind's tallest coaster straddling the North and South Carolina border remains closed and under review tonight after a visitor discovered a frightening crack earlier this month. The support beam visibly shifts when the coaster comes through.
I'm not an engineer, but that's not good.
That same weekend in Wisconsin, roller coaster riders got stuck hanging upside down for 3 hours after a mechanical failure.
There are roughly 32,000 injuries from amusement rides annually, according to federal data, but many industry experts maintain they are safe, with hundreds of millions of people flocking to carnivals and parks every year. Tom?
All right, moving on now to Northern California, where recent carjackings in Oakland and San Francisco have left residents feeling unsafe and frustrated. Hundreds of residents flooded into a public safety meeting this week.
I feel unsafe and frustrated right now.
NBC Stephen Romo has more.
Here's fucking Nancy.
A terrifying moment for a driver in Northern California's Oakland Hills.
Oh no, it's not Nancy. It's the other one.
Come on now. A white car swerving into the street. The driver.
Dude, how is this killer fun to play against?
Over to the driver's side of the other car and then banging on it.
25 minutes. We've been stuck in here.
Trying to escape the armed person speeds around them. Oakland police are still investigating, but have
Hello?
3 people in connection with the attempted carjacking.
Dude, I have to go to the store. Like, I have 30 minutes and I gotta go to the store.
More than 900 reports in the last month alone. Residents in Oakland are fed up.
The pendulum swings the other way into the stupid land, where you guys just are just all the way hands off.
This week, hundreds of people gathered at a public safety meeting, many of them victims themselves, and now demanding answers from local officials.
For them to stop me while I'm driving and pull me out of the car at some point, what are we doing to address this?
Across the bay in San Francisco, officers responding to this incident over the weekend. The crash.
Nancy's still, what's her name? Who's that? Yui? Still in the corner. What is this Nancy doing? Just vaulting.
Police now arresting 2 suspects in the case after they fled the overturned car and ran off. Near the popular tourist spot Fisherman's Wharf,
why don't you help do gens?
74 reported break-ins last year, up 161%
No!
since 2018, according to police data.
Retard.
San Francisco Mayor London Breed says crime rates are getting better. Yet a city survey says 62% of people feel safety has gotten worse. The mayor sitting down with CNBC's
Ada's actually trying.
that the media is
Like, I doubt me and her can do it alone.
We have some problems. We have problems with crime and with safety.
I wonder if I do 1 gen and Ada does 1 gen, if it'll be enough.
Actually happening, it just paints a different
2
story.
people versus this killer. It's 2 versus 1 right now.
Both cities by the bay now forced to reckon with reputations and safety concerns. Stephen Romo, NBC News.
Absolutely unbelievable. Okay, when we come back, the failure to flee, a man trying to get away from police, falling right into their hands. See it right there, the charges he's now facing. Stay with us, and in a garbage can. All right.
Dude, I'm not saving her. She's not helping. She's just standing over here vaulting shit. Slamming lockers. Comes. Place of strike. Now she has to heal.
Stay on top of breaking news and the biggest stories of the day with NBC News Daily.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Morgan Radford. I'm Vicki Wynn. I'm Kate Snow. And I'm Zing Samwan.
Get in-depth reporting from across the country.
We have breaking news out of the White House.
And around the world.
Questions about the rebellion inside Russia.
And ways you can take care of your health.
What are symptoms that people should be on the lookout for?
Andrew Wallace.
Some really great last-minute deals if you have flexibility.
NBC News Daily. Weekdays from 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern on NBC News Now.
All right, we are back now with Top Stories news feed and the search for a missing person after a boat capsized in a Chicago harbor. Emergency crews racing to the scene, pulling 6 people from the water and rushing them to the hospital. They're all expected to be okay, but a 7th woman is still unaccounted for. Chicago fire officials say this is now a recovery mission. Okay, the Alabama woman behind a kidnapping.
When you get injured, it doesn't help.
Criminally charged. Carly Russell, arrested and charged with false reporting to law enforcement today. She has since been released after posting bond. Russell had told police she was kidnapped after trying to help a toddler on the side of the highway. Her attorney confirming earlier this week she made the whole thing up. Now to the suspected robber in Ohio, falling through a bank ceiling and right into the hands of police. Look at this new body cam video showing the man dropping a duffel bag through a ceiling panel before
that person's still AFK in the corner.
Police immediately moving in to make the arrest. That
AFK.
man with breaking and entering and cracking into.
What are you doing?
Okay, President Biden and First
Can you
Lady
heal me?
Biden are
Hey.
breaking their silence on Hunter Biden's 4-year-old daughter. First reported by People magazine, and NBC News has obtained a statement from the president where he says Hunter and the child's mother are working together on a relationship that is in the best interest of their daughter. The president adding, quote, Jill and I only want what is best for all our grandchildren, including Navy. The Bidens have come under fire recently for not
Try to do the
mentioning
fucking
that
gen.
girl who was proven to be Hunter's daughter following a paternity suit in 2019. Okay,
31 minutes. I'm sending this in because we have an AFKer and a trolling Nancy.
Seismic activity. This waveform.
What's Nancy doing? Trolling?
And jumping, triggering the equivalent of a 2.3 magnitude.
She's just crouching.
Earthquake. The Swiftquake, as it's being called, even more powerful than the 2011 Beastquake after a touchdown from Marshawn Lynch of the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, we now turn to another type of tremor, the AI earthquake, and it's coming soon to a drive-thru near you. Hardee's rolling out the technology at hundreds of U.S. locations. The service aiming to ease staffing shortages. But will it end the low-wage labor market? Wall Street Journal's Joanna Stern took the tech for a test drive.
Every time you go through this Hardee's drive-thru, you'll hear,
Would you like to try a peach pie for $1.59? Nope. Would you like to try a peach pie for $1.59? No. Peach pie for $1.59?
no thank you.
Peach pie?
No peach pie.
I have 1 peach pie.
No peach pie. That's because that's an AI chatbot.
I can't even do this drone because I'm gonna get
At this
exposed.
Hardee's location on Kent Island in Maryland. Well, unless the bot needs human help.
1 moment. Let me get a team member to help you.
And this tech may be coming to a restaurant near you. Made by a company named Presto. It's available at 350 locations in the country.
Oh, it exposes you if you let go. That's nice.
It even uses
Well, I'm out then. I'm out of this stupid fucking 30-minute match.
really taking over real jobs. I designed 3 challenges and drove through about 30 times.
This is so dumb. Dude, this match lasted 33 minutes.
Senior technology correspondent Joanna Stern joins us now from the Wall Street Journal, of course. She's also now an NBC News contributor. Joanna.
Aatrox is AFK and Nancy trolls.
So tell me, what was your big takeaway from doing this?
My big takeaway, look, I went to Maryland to test this AI chatbot that lives in a Hardee's speaker box, and I really did not expect to be impressed. I thought, okay, I'm gonna fool it. I've got all these ways to fool it. I didn't fool it as much as I wanted to. It understood the simple orders, what you'd expect, right? The combo, the burger and fries, the large Coke, got all of that. But even when I tried to confuse it, it still kept up with me. There were a few instances where a human had to step in, but AI was pretty good.
And I think that there was 3 times where the human had to step in. We have a clip of that if we can play that now.
I am allergic to gluten. Is there gluten in that?
No.
There's definitely gluten in that bread. Can I speak to a human?
One moment, please. Let me get someone to help you.
Hi, I'm sorry about that. We do have a lettuce wrap.
Presto said this was an error, and that any allergy questions should trigger the bot to get a human.
Okay, look, I mean, I was watching this thinking, look, that's a tough one. The technology's great, but if you're a parent and you're worried about your kids, especially with something like gluten or dairy, you can't make a mistake there.
Absolutely, and the company said that was a mistake in the system. They didn't want the AI answering questions about allergies. But in this case, it did fail. It did say nope, and I'm not sure if it actually said nope to that question or it thought it was responding to something earlier. Another place where the human had to step in is I asked how many calories were in one of the meals, and
that was a tough one. I found. Would the human even know that?
I don't think the human would know, but he says it usually in the board. So
right,
okay, you probably have been programmed to know some of the things on the menu.
But overall, you were pretty impressed.
I was impressed, especially we're so used to talking to Siri and Alexa.
Or trolling.
Right? You talk to Siri, Alexa, and it doesn't make configurations. I didn't understand that. Or let me search the web for you. When I ask these questions, and I mean, look, I sound very clear. This is part of my job is talking, but I sound pretty clear. And even when I played some barking sounds from dogs, I played babies crying. It heard over all of that.
So I have a coffee shop in my neighborhood that's closing down because they couldn't find workers. It was a brand new coffee shop after a few months, I think. It's closing down now. Will this kill jobs or will this help restaurants fill jobs that they can't fill right now?
The latter is what these companies are saying. Both the fast food restaurant chains and the company that's making this technology, the company that made this technology specifically there is named Presto, they are saying that they are filling a void, that right now and since the pandemic, there has been this glut of labor in fast food, in restaurants, and that this is now to keep the staff members at these restaurants not as burdened and not as stressed.
Why are you taking her back to the gen that they're doing?
Working behind the scenes, chiming in when they could, but they had time to do other things.
Finally, America wants to know, they need to know, did you try the peach pie?
I tried the peach pie, even though it tried to upsell me every single time I went through. 30 times almost I went through, and it asked every time, would you like a peach pie for $1.59? It was pretty good. But it was very
that was
warm,
cool.
and it was a 100-degree day. So
Looking quiet.
Upsell the milkshake is all.
Joanna Stern, thank you so much. You're doing phenomenal work over there. We love having you at NBC as well. Coming up, Bull on the Loose.
Nancy's exposed now.
And charging at pedestrians. How the scary scene finally came to an end.
Oh, she's back. Nice trick. Yeah, you're exposed now. Dude, how is this fun? How is this good gameplay? This is shit. What's the AFK person doing? They need to nerf Skull Merchant because this gameplay sucks. I immediately wanted to quit halfway through the match when Nancy ran the killer onto the team. Going on a 40-minute match. I could have played 4 games. Loss. Ran into the wall. She won't even kill. What the fuck? What was that? She's just standing there looking for Hatch. She wants to get the Hatch. And the killer's gonna leave her on the ground to draw the match out even more.
What will you offer voters that former President Trump will not? What's expected to happen in Argentina with that election? Heading across the pond, an incredibly historical moment.
Every night, it's your news playlist. Top Story with Tom Llamas. Streaming weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
This killer's retarded.
All right, welcome back. Time now for Top
Now the killer wants her to rat on her teammate and show her where she's at.
Now taking aim at southeastern China. This is
Because she doesn't want her teammate to have the hatch. And if Ada rats her teammate out, she's getting reported for ratting. Because I get ratted on all the time and I fucking hate it.
At least 25 people dead. It's now been downgraded though to a tropical storm.
Yeah, she wants you to show her where they're at.
El Salvador announcing plans to try accused gang members in mass trials. The new law an effort to expedite tens of thousands of pending cases.
Oh, there you go.
Crackdown on gang violence.
You're getting reported for ratting on a teammate, dude.
70,000 people arrested in total after the president declared a state of emergency, suspending constitutional rights. Critics of the rule say it will deny individuals the chance for a fair trial. And a bull wreaking havoc in central Peru after escaping from an arena.
The AFK person gets hung, and now she's gonna get the hatch. Happens all the fucking time. And it's so aggravating, this gameplay.
In all, 5 people were injured by that crazy bull. Authorities were able to capture it after about 30 minutes. Okay, now to another global story that's being felt here in the U.S. India banning the export of a certain type of rice following devastating floods there. Many here in the States now rushing to stop.
This is basically your classic game of Dead by Daylight. I would say like 3 out of every 10 matches I have end like this. With somebody ratting on the last person, which is usually me. Because I'm trying to go for the door or hatch. Yeah, Okay, dude. You deserve to be banned for that. So does the AFK person, honestly.
There is no rise in the stores. Basically, after the ban, it was so crowded.
Dude.
Some stores, like, there are people waiting for like 100, 200 people waiting in the lane.
Experts say the culprit
They're gonna type anything.
The Indian government announcing the ban after torrential rains and flooding devastated crops in the northern region of the country, sending prices in India soaring, citizens paying nearly 12% more. Indian officials say
Yeah, 40 minutes.
to ensure supply domestically and keep costs at bay, but it's a move felt across the world.
Something as far away as a monsoon in India, will affect your grocer in your hometown.
This person was AFK.
The largest exporter of rice, shipping 40% of the world's supply to the more than 3 billion who depend on the grain as part of their daily diet.
But it's also a key grain used in many of the items that we eat. It's a key ingredient. That's going to have a ripple effect. We will see prices increase as we, go to the grocer. We'll see prices increase when we go out to eat at the restaurants. You will not live your life without, being affected by this.
The rice ban coming days after Russia pulled out of the grain deal with Ukraine, preventing millions of tons of food from leaving Ukrainian ports, reaching the rest of the world, bringing food supply in some countries to a breaking point.
Some will go hungry, some will starve, many may die.
An urgent warning from the United Nations.
Okay, here's her. She doesn't have a
and climate change
Steam.
across the globe.
Ada doesn't have a Steam either. Nancy's a trolling gameplay.
If not into the next growing season, but if next year's crops are also hit by severe weather, we could be seeing these shortages for even longer. Tom?
For months or longer. Okay, Megan Fitzgerald, we thank you for bringing us that story. When we come back, a look at what you can binge this weekend. The new docu-series about boxing legend Oscar De La Hoya, plus the new movie about Beanie Babies. Have you heard about this one? And new music, I should say, incredible music by John Batiste. We'll have it all
You
for
got
you.
65,000? How is that possible?